Hello, I'm Todd Smith, and this is your appellate tip of the week. This week's tip is appellate deadlines apply during the COVID-19 pandemic. The Supreme Court of Texas has issued a number of emergency orders to assist counsel and parties in knowing what the rules are going to be for this time when we've been basically on lockdown during the coronavirus crisis. If you don't know where to find those, you can start out here at the Supreme Court's homepage, txcourts.gov/Supreme, and navigate over here to this media button. And there's a whole area here set aside for coronavirus COVID-19 emergency orders. All of those orders are listed here. They're available from another number of other sources, but this is the source, the Supreme Court's website. You see here you've got emergency orders 1 through 11 listed to date, the last order being issued on April 9th of 2020. The order that I want to talk with you about a little bit is this one right here, Emergency Order 9, issued April 6th of 2020. This emergency order was issued perhaps in response, perhaps on the court's own initiative, but perhaps in response to a coalition of bar leaders and attorney group leaders who expressed to the court that the original order that dealt with extending deadlines in civil cases left discretion to the trial judge whether limitations would be told in any given case. And the feeling was that we needed a uniform or statewide rule on that point to make sure that we didn't have 254 different rules going forward, that being the number of counties that we have in Texas. So on April 1st, the Supreme Court issued this order, and the critical language here is what I've got highlighted in paragraph 3. Any deadline for the filing or service of any civil case is told from March 13th, 2020 until June 1st, 2020, unless extended. I've heard a lot of folks ask, well, what about appellate deadlines? Or even some trial court deadlines, like deadlines for filing motions for new trial, motions for JNOV, etc., that affect appellate deadlines. And the simple answer to that question of whether those are affected is no. This order, by its own language, only extends statutes of limitations for, quote, filing or service of any civil case. That's the thing that has been told by this order, not any specific deadlines. So anyone practicing in litigation, facing post-verdict, post-judgment deadlines, anything to do with extending deadlines for appeal, and any appellate deadlines, briefing deadlines, deadlines for filing notices of appeal, and so forth, you need to be calculating your deadlines and building your work around meeting the deadlines that would exist even without the COVID-19 crisis. In other words, don't plan on getting any kind of automatic extension for these deadlines as a result of the pandemic. The courts have been really good about extending briefing deadlines and so forth as needed. If you need additional time for those kinds of things, you should feel free to file a motion. But if there's something that's jurisdictional, I would not count on there being any extension automatically granted, but for the actual filing and service of a civil lawsuit. That's it for this week's tip. We'll see you next time.